昔ある人間と賭けをしたの。その人は死んじゃったけど、私はその人のパツルって名前をもらったわ。闇。
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to use and build, I believe you pronounce her name as Patsy. So I'm just going to call her Patsy for the rest of the video. She is in Demon, Dark faction, and Reincarnation faction. And first, we're going to look at the level 70 max stats for both classes. Demon Seeker is a demon class. Demon class in general is stronger than any other classes. And the Demon Seeker has a higher HP and in compared to the Assassin class, which is Bloody Dream Master. And Bloody Dream Master does have a little bit more attack, which we don't use, so we can ignore that part. She can be an assassin, she can be just a mage, it depends how you want to build her. I believe she's the first assassin who uses in global, and then soon there's going to be another one. And now we will talk about the talent. The talent is the reason why I think she is not that good. Shadow Seduction here. So there's a few parts to this. We're going to talk about the first part. When battling with non-female heroes. So how do you determine a non-female hero? So of course we're talking about the male heroes. But in this game, to determine that, you have to go to a bonding. When you go to the heart bond, you can see when you do your confession. Well, you don't have to go to confession, but you can see on the top, you can see like blue color or red color. Red color are the female heroes, the blue color are non-female heroes. So when you attack, when you battle with non-female heroes, in plus 15, 20, 25, 30%, and damage taken 15, 20, 25, 30% it's 6 stars. So a lot of damage and a lot of damage reduction here, but only when you fight against non-female heroes. When it comes to that, I don't know if it applies to both PvE and PvP, but PvE doesn't really matter. But when it comes to PvP, I think it matters a lot because there are a lot of male heroes who can threat her. Okay, second part. After actively dealing damage, inflict fatigue, chance of being critically hit plus 20%, last 3 turns. Can be stacked. Once this is stacked twice, fatigue instead becomes hypnotizes at the end of the unit's next turn, cannot act. Chance of being critically hit plus 50%, last 1 turn. So hypnotize wears off after taking damage once and cannot be gained again for 3 turns. So from my research, the damage taken once is only applied to Patsy. So when Patsy does damage, then they wake up. I think other people, when they do their damage, they won't wake up. Let me summarize this. When you attack, apply 1 stack. When you apply 1 stack, they're critically hit plus 20% in the last 3 turns. And then the second time as in the second stack, the enemy at the end of the unit's turn cannot act. And the main thing in here, it does not say that you cannot dispel. So which I would assume it can dispel, which is why she's not very good in my opinion. But again, these are all from my research. I actually don't have her. The banner is not out yet. So if anyone can confirm, let me know. Bonding requirement. First 3, I'm going to skip that as usual. And then the 4th one here, we need Bozo's help, which a lot of us should have. And then the 5th one is we need Lolly Bozo's help. Now going over her skills. Again, in case you're a new player, I will go over every single skill. So first one we have is Fireball, cost 1, cooldown 1, range 2, span single, magic damage, attacks a single enemy dealing 1.5 times damage, effective against infantry. Mind Bore, cost 2, cooldown 3, range 3, span 3. Magic damage, attacks multiple enemies within range, dealing 0.3 times AoE damage. Inflicts magic damage taken plus 20% for 2 turns. So you probably won't be bringing this skill on her because she has better 2 cost skills. Magic Defense Intimidate, cost 2. Passive, at the end of action, magic defense minus 20% to all enemies within 2 squares, last 1 turn. This skill most likely will be used in PvE but not PvP. Addictive Stream, this is her exclusive skill. Cost 2, cooldown 2, range 2, span single. Magic damage, attacks a single enemy dealing 1.5 times damage. If the enemy hero is not a female, then damage dealt plus 20% and this attack ignores guard. So on top of that damage dealt plus 20%, and don't forget there's also her talent which will increase 30% more. However, both of the damage dealt increase only applies to male characters. So maybe when we face her in Apex, don't choose male characters. Lightning Strike, cost 1, cooldown 1, range 2, span single. Magic damage, attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.5 times damage, effective against cavalry. Dark Reaper, cost 2, cooldown 2, range 2, span single. Magic damage, attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.3 times damage, ignores 30% of enemy magic defense. After battle, restores 50% of damage dealt as HP. Charm, another exclusive skill for her. Cost 2, cooldown 3, range 3, span single. Magic damage, directly deals 0.1 times magic damage to one enemy. If this target is not a female, then they cannot act the next turn. And after ending action, they will deal fixed damage to allies within one block equal to 25% of remaining HP. Cannot be dispelled. Another exclusive skill, Succubus Kiss, cost 1. Passive, when battling non-female heroes, restore 30% of damage dealt as HP after battle. Forget, cost 2, cooldown 3, range 3, span 3. Magic damage, attacks multiple enemy units, dealing 0.3 times damage, also disables all passive skills for 2 turns. Awakening skill, Shadow Curse of Annihilation. Cost 3, cooldown 4, range 6. Usually range is 5, but range 6 and span 3 lines. Passive, when Patsyr dies, all non-female enemies on the battlefield have their passive disabled. This cannot be dispelled. So never bring forget when you face against non-female enemies. Okay, now to the second part of her 3C, magic damage. Attack enemies along 3 lines for 0.1 time AoE damage. That's not a lot. If the enemy is on non-defensive terrain, then also deals 2 times Patsyr's in as fixed damage. Cannot be immunized. Also inflict Shadow Curse. Shadow Curse is after taking action. If this unit is on non-defensive terrain, then take 1.5 times caster in as fixed damage. Cannot be immunized, last 2 turns. Shadow Curse cannot be dispelled. Okay, so honestly, I think this 3C is kind of bad. Great range, great span, but it's all fixed damage after the battle, after they move, so I don't think that's really good. Like in both PvE and PvP, you want to kill. You don't want to kill like later. She might be really deadly if you have like a real strong follow-up after, and then if your follow-up doesn't kill, then the fixed damage will probably guarantee you a kill. Demon build. Demon build is definitely recommended when it comes to PvE, but PvP probably Assassin because there's a lot of holy units that can counter Demon. If you use single target, I would recommend Scepter of Divinity, especially since she's an assassin. An extra range would help her secure a kill much easier, especially against female characters. When it comes to a character who can use it in Red Moon and Blue Moon, can't go wrong. If you're gonna go probably single target and AoE, Red Moon, Blue Moon provides the in that you need. If you're dedicated to just use her single target skills, then Pale Staff is the perfect staff for you. If your whole game plan is just to AoE and debuff, then Miracle Staff can add another layer to that. Recommended armor, Tenyo's Robe increases her survivability. And then we have Goddess Dress to increase her healing of her 1 cost passive. Mars White Robe is good because she is an assassin and they most likely want to attack you at melee range, and if it's a non-female character, you most likely can counter kill. Be worth the gamble for that 20% to prop. Recommended helmet here, Glory of the World. I'm telling you, this helmet here is going to make her really good in PvE because of her 1C. So basically whenever you attack, you're probably gonna get full heal, and if they want to attack you, you will also heal when you're in mixed troops, and when you're using her, it's going to be in mixed troops. I'll explain that further when it comes to the soldier choices. Tenyo's headdress is more for PvP if you want that random buff. Okay, assassin build here is pretty much the same as demon, but I do only recommend these rather than the miracle because her AoE attacks are not very strong aside from her 3C, but and the duration is pretty long when it comes to the cooldown, so I would say focus more on her assassin ability. Since she's an assassin, she can carry last rites. So basically any character that can carry last rites aside from Vincent, I would say that's like their best pick for PvE and PvP. And then we have the next one, almost as good as last rites, Azure Legend. Recommended helmet for assassin class, Doomsday Hero for that he will block. And then we have King's Crown, but King's Crown I would say is a little bit harder to use because she doesn't have act against skills. Regardless, it's a good helmet in both PvE and PvP, maybe when you're trying to set up your attack. Recommended accessories. So the first one is a meditation ring. Yes, an SR ring. Since she can wear last rite as an assassin, so as long as her last rite doesn't break, and if you're facing a non-female character, the chance of you surviving is extremely high because of her talent. Next one is Star Earrings. Star Earring gives you good int, and it will give you a higher chance to survive against assassins and archers. Fidaros is pretty much mainly for AoE focus. If you are using Miracle Staff, plus Fidaros will make her a debuff monster. Enchant choices are pretty straightforward, so Full Moon for maximum damage, and then Breeze for mobility buff. Since she doesn't have act again moves, when it comes to PvP, I think she does need some help with mobility. And I forgot to say that she actually flies like Bozo, so with a good breeze it'll probably turn around the game. And then last but not least, we have Clock. If you're doing AoE focus, Clock is your best enchant. Enchant stats that you want to look for in your gears and your mastery stones: intelligent, HP, defense, or magic defense. Preference when it comes to arena PvP stones though, in HP, defense, magic defense, and crit. If you feel like you're gonna die anyways, you can probably equip 2 crit and take out 1 defense or magic defense. Okay, last but not least, the soldier choices. Very straightforward as well. Sorceress gives her the maximum damage output. So basically, if you use single target, use Sorceress. If you are using AoE and there's a lot of physical damage dealer on the other side of the team, then you want to use Crystal Warlock to protect yourself. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys have a better understanding of how to use and build her. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. これが深淵に落ちていく